Cliff, you know the unit number here? It's next to a nail salon. It's right at the king. If anything, it's called Peyko. I invited him. He told me he was ranking. I was like, right, yeah, something to find out. He was doing some floors in the Cape like a month ago. And I said, I'm going to this. She's like, yeah, you did great. Before, so like, it was a big baby shower.
Anyway, you like No, we need. Oh yeah, we need. That part. That's right. Yes, ma'am.
All right. My name is Clifford. I'm the vice president. Nice to meet you. Cecilia, nice to meet you. Juanisha? Juanisha. Juanisha. All right.
I know two sisters.
Right? No, the Quan was throwing me off. So I kept trying to say Quan. Quan. There you go. Juanisha. Got it.
Through a text, someone sent it to me, and being that I'm starting a business, I said,
Heck yeah, that's the place to be.
all the information.
Yes, the workshop we've got put on tonight, I think it's going to be tremendous. Just getting the mindset of where you want your business to be and what you want it to accomplish, the planning for the year, because failing to plan is planning to fail. And then finally, promoting the business through podcasting and interviewing is how you get your name out more effectively than on radio or TV. More cost effective, I should say.
Richard came, he said, I know Richard, that's the small guy right there, and,
Oh, the guy in the yellow shirt is Lisa.
Isaac, and what about the other guy, that's LJ? Oh, okay.
All right.
Well, let's go get cards and be friends.
Yeah. So, she ready to roll? So, all right, so now that's the only camera going on. So go right here. So, set that right there. All right.
My name is Sonia. I'm sorry.
Oh. Making the change.
There you go, yeah, I was anyway you can be. You can be the front line right here. All right, can I get everybody to finish? No. Can I get 2 claps? Can I get 3 claps? 1, 2, 3. All right. So my name is Brian Franklin. I'll be one of the masters of the ceremony today, and if you have never been to a cultural wind down before, the intention of this group or this particular event is to give you guys to edify you, to give you information you didn't know, or to give you opportunity or resources by other people in this room. With that being said, your perspective and how you feel about being here will impact what you get out of this. Where you want to learn something or connect with someone in the room and learn about them, right? With that being said, it's my honor to actually talk for a quick second about, before we get into the actual presentations, to actually give a moment of time to our Chef Butler in the back. Y'all give him a round of applause. He's going to tell you guys the name of his business and what we have for us today.
Chef Roland, I run Chef in the Lake. From beautiful white boy that got ready. He's a helper. Today we're going to have a fresh pasta salad with shrimp. And I made sweet meatballs by hand this morning, earlier this morning. 4 o'clock in the morning when we're right to sleep. And fresh desserts, I have a nice spring mix salad, fresh boutique, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
Thank you.
So, just to let you guys know, that's part of the evening. So before we start presentations, I'd like for you guys, if you haven't eaten already, I hope you haven't eaten already, I'd like you to grab a bite right now, just so when we get things started, you don't have to get up and excuse yourself. We're gonna start the presentations in about 10 minutes. About in a little under 10 minutes, so definitely feel free to do that. And if you came here with a group of people and you have your tribe, I ask you to meet someone new. So don't automatically go to a familiar face. Sit down, introduce yourself, and have a quick conversation before we start the presentation. Thank you, guys. So go ahead, everybody. Go ahead. We appreciate everybody coming by. So it's not a long wait for the lines or anything, so by all means, go ahead and have some.
You've always been like that. Hold on, guys.
The very end of everything. This is a Zoom video. What's up?
That's right.
All right, everyone. We're gonna bring it back if you're ready. Can I get everybody to bring it back? Okay, so to give you guys an idea of how we're gonna flow through, the first thing I would like to do is give people an opportunity to introduce their business. We do this at most networking groups around the area. So if you are comfortable, and whether you're uncomfortable, get comfortable, because we want to hear why are you here tonight? You know, so whether you have an established business or thinking about that, we want you to speak on that. I'd like to start with the founders of the people who created this, the DC Network. So I'm gonna start with everyone within the DC Network, and we're gonna move into our visitors, so you guys get an idea of how that works. So give a quick 15 to 30 seconds. This is who I am, this is what I do, and this is a great referral for me. Can we start off with Ms. Serene, please?
Good evening. My name is Serene Butler, and I'm an accountant.
Mike, I'm sorry. You good, you good.
I'm an accountant. I've been in business since 2008. A good referral for me would be a business person that the IRS tells you, hey, listen, you should pay yourself a certain amount of money, but they don't tell you what the certain amount is. You know somebody that's like that, please come see me. My name is Serene Butler. My business is Bookkeeping Reimagined. Please reimagine your bookkeeping on the right road.
Got to clap, 2 claps for it. There you go. You need a moment, shoot, don't die. We can come back.
All right.
Thanks, roll.
Good evening, guys. My name is Stephanie Simmons. I am your Southwest Florida Realtor, and my ideal client would be a buyer and seller in this market. We do have, you hear everything and then there's everything all around. Oh, now is not the right time to buy. No, that's not true. It's time in the market, not time in the market. So it's always a great opportunity to buy, and right now is the prime time because you have more leverage and opportunity to negotiate a better deal for yourself now than you do when the interest rates fall down. And then we find ourselves in a situation of multiple offers, highest and best, because the inventory is low. So when you think about getting into home ownership, building that generational wealth, just think of me. I'm here to help you secure the key to the lock that fits your home.
2 claps. We working about time. We know they're gonna have this. Yeah. All right, are you eating?
I'm good. I'm sorry.
My bad.
My name is Leah Harris. I'm owner of the Lake Right Journey. I'm your life skills coach, motivational speaker. Our slogan is empowering the select. Your client would be anyone of a creative expression, art, drawing, writing, singing, anything like that. We do have a podcast, and we're promoting artists and their brand at this point. So if you know anybody that's in the art, not necessarily have to be singing or drawing, but some form of creative expression, give me a call or we'll chat after this. I'll give you my card. Thank you.
All right, who don't got rhythm? Who is? I don't have a little bit. It was something good. I knew it was the whole time. All right, you want to do yours, bro?
Sure. Good day, everyone. I'm Mr. Sunshine, Clifford T Mitchem, and I am with Solar Bear. So what we do is protect you from the rising electricity costs. FPL, LCEC, utility companies in general are increasing their rates considerably throughout this year. by putting solar panels on your rooftop, you can protect yourself from those rising costs and make sure you can own your power. So when you have a friend, you have a family, you want to look for your home, send them my way. I'll get them running on sunshine. And I want all of you to go forth and spread some sunshine. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and pass it over to Mr. Wes Moussignac. Oh, excuse me. I didn't allow the clap. All right, clap. Excellent.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for coming and sharing this time and opportunity to network with one another. And it's time for us to really come together this year. 2023 is different. And I believe it's time for Black people to actually come together and do something wonderful. And if you are like me and like these guys, you need to recognize DC Network and do that. So my company is called the Kingdom Press newspaper. The Community Press newspaper just went out of style. And we have Southwest Florida Chronicles, which is right behind it. But the Kingdom Press is another newspaper that's coming out in February. And the idea of that newspaper is to basically bring awareness to our community, all things that's affecting us negatively or positively, and also have access to all the resources that can actually elevate and change our mindset for the better, to grow, to learn, and continue education, continue educating one another. So with that being said, the Kingdom Press is a striking news of our time. Look out for it in February, and that's my spiel.
That was me. All right, you late. My bad. One more time. There you go.
Great expectations. Good evening. My name is Alicia C. Dickerson. Is it work?
Yeah, no, yeah, it's just for the, not for us, it's for the.
Oh, okay. So again, I'm Alicia C. Dickerson. I am a Mary Kay sales director here in the area. Your face is my concern. I educate on skincare and color cosmetics. So your face needs to be in my place. So I'm Alicia C. Dickerson, and I'm leaving no face left behind.
Ooh, perfect. All right, up next, we have our Presidente, Boss Man Jefe.
We're gonna pass it right along, we got online.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Richard Smith. My name is Big Chef. I am a flight chef at home. Yes, chef. We do events, we do weddings, we do in-home private dinners as well. Once or twice a year, I'll sell tickets to my own events that you can come out and do. My clientele, the people that meet, that's simple as that. I mean, I like to eat. I like that. You're a client. I also run a YouTube channel as well called Yes Chef Creates that you can look up. Great recipes, really from simple to elaborate how to do videos on different types of food. That's it.
That's it. Good luck.
I don't really have a business, but I'm investing. I'm looking for still.
Oh, Lord.
businesses small, right, or little. So I have this lots.
Yes.
So I would love for you guys to register to participate in it. It's a new social media platform, social media done in a different way. I love social media, but I think that we could be. I'm working on it for 2 years, the focus groups and such. So the name of the company is, I'm sorry to keep my back to you guys. It's called Two Style Mode. So I'm gonna ask you guys to say it with me.
Two Style Mode.
Look us up, check us out. Thank you.
Two claps.
All right, guys, so we're gonna get the presentation going. I felt weird with little Mike, didn't I?
Yeah.
I didn't notice how small the mic was until I saw y'all with it. Y'all, this is a mini mic, but there is a meaning behind the mini mic that we're gonna learn about later with you guys. So this isn't just for show. One of our presenters will be talking about this later, but our very first presenter of this evening is being my guy, and a lot of y'all already know that. We got repeating his tagline. We have Mr. Sunshine himself, Clifford Mitchem, everybody. Y'all give him a round of applause.
So this evening, we're gonna kick off with the workshop in 3 parts. You see in front of you, you should have some scratch paper that we can take notes. And you go ahead and get your mindset right, put your planning in order. Because the gentleman that's gonna be kicking us off is someone that I highly respect. I've known for several years, a couple years now, and just after one conversation with him, just align everything as far as my focus and my development in my business to just next level. You truly get your head into the space to help you prepare to accomplish your goals, set the pathway, and make sure you're stepping forward with the best route that you can plan. All right, so we're gonna hand it over to Mr. Rashad Shelton, and he's gonna take us through the planning. How would you describe it? The planning of your business, the outcome of it?
I would say one thing of what this is about is more so using vehicles. So just get started. We're gonna make sure 45 minutes, right?
45.
So
All right. I'm starting the timer now.
thank you so much. We're setting up the I hate
Yes.
So I'm the so you guys are it's relevant, it's made about 2 to 3 years ago. So I know some of you guys have heard me read that. When I moved here 3 years ago, from a lot of different companies. My job at that time was I was essentially a sports agent for business on. So obviously I'm in a room with business on. My job was to literally act as your agent. So if you know football players, right? Who got that player onto whatever team they're playing on, his agent. Who got them that work out of the combine, his agent. Who got him that sponsorship deal with Nike, his agent did. Think of that concept, but apply to business. In the last 3 years, I've learned so much about business that no internet marketer, which by the way, that's an oxymoron. There's no such thing as an internet marketer. I'm gonna explain what that means. No coach is gonna be able to articulate what success is to you if you don't know what it is for yourself. So the point that I'm making is, if you think of one word, zoonosis, that's an actual little term that they use for animals inside the zoo. Everybody here has been to the zoo, right?
Yes.
You guys see giraffes, lions, they're in a caged environment. If you notice, if you watch them, they're walking in a pattern, typically a circle, right? You see the footpath of where they're going. They know where to get their food, they know when they're gonna eat, they know where to take a dump, and they know where they're gonna sleep. And they do it year in and year out. They actually did a study on this. They took off the cages. They took the fence out. And guess what the animal still did? The exact same thing. How often has us business owners been doing that same thing over the last 3 years? That changed the thing. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen business owners, doesn't matter how much money you make, it really doesn't. It really doesn't. You can make $10,000 a year or 10 million. I've seen them both. They would tell you the same amount of money they made today is not stretching as far as it did 3 years ago. Well, there's a reason for that. It's called inflation. So if you're not growing at least 10% a year, you are down. Look at how many businesses are existing today compared to what it was a year ago to a year ago before that. Now you may be wondering, well, why is that? Because business owners had no clue why they're in business. Because if they did, chances are they're not doing that business or they're doing it differently. So the point of tonight's talk is not to give you some sort of technical skill set. It's to really just put a mirror in front of you. I'm going to show you how it's done. I'm not going to walk you through it tonight. I know the point of tonight's talk was to actually walk through it. To be honest with you, it's going to take you 2 weeks, roughly 2 weeks. If you really took the time to do it, you're not going to get it done tonight because you're going to be like, what in the world just happened? But over the next couple of days, it's going to start coming to you. You're going to put it down on a piece of paper and you're going to then create your actual meaning of life. For example, I was at the cigar bar the other night, which you will find me in most times if I'm not working or with my family. I'm at the cigar bar. And I'm meeting with a guy that owns a particular pizza franchise. Makes buku amounts of money. So much so that he actually introduced me to 4 of his mentees. All 4 of them are millionaires, multi-millionaires. So I'm sitting down with him, I'm talking. And he's like, Rashad, I make so much money, I don't know what to do with it. But yet I go to bed wondering if it's all there is to live. So clearly, making more money is not the solution. You can make all the money in the world, but it literally doesn't put it in regards to what is it that you're actually putting on this earth for. On the flip side of that, how often do we see, especially in our community, right? You see so many people that say, oh, I wish I could do this, I wish I could do that. Well, what does that teach? Literally, what does that get you? And they don't know. And that's what we're working on today. So the point of this exercise is called the meaning of life. Normally I do this on a big whiteboard, so I'm gonna have to adjust some things around, but I just wanted to get you guys the point. So your papers, if I was you, I would bring the papers long side is going like the right. And you would orient your paper just like the way I have mine. And the whole purpose of this exercise is you're actually taking an inventory of your life. Now, I'm going to walk you all through how I did mine back in 2019. That was the first time I did this exercise. The reason why I'm showing you that is because I want you guys to see how that moment, when I came across this, it changed everything about how I went about making my decisions. If you catch the words I'm saying, my decision, not somebody else's, not my wife's, not saying that her input is not important, it is. But nobody else is dictating to me how I should go about doing it. Just so that you guys know who I am. I'm a West Pointer, I'm an Army vet. I went on and served 7 years. I know a lot of people that go off and they do the typical stuff they always do. Serve, come out, go to corporate America, work for Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, ESPN, Nike, all that type of stuff. Good for them. That was not me. I didn't know why, but until I did this, I figured it out. Because everything from this point on has been my decision. And I don't look back as to decisions I made because of this. I said no to multiple $1 million opportunities because of this. I'm going to show you how. So you're going to have these 4 columns, A plus B in your C. Your A, whatever is on your mind, you're going to write it down. Things that are important to you, things that you spend time doing, and things that you spend money on. So- I'm a father. So I spent a ton of time doing daddy daycare. I'm a husband. I'm a person of faith. I go to the gym. Cigars. At the time that I was doing this in 2019, I was a military instructor. Or excuse me, I was in the military. Now, here's the thing, I'm putting all this stuff I've done so far. If you can get to 10 items on that list, that's fine. All right, if you got more, great. But try to get at least 10. The more you do, the more you get out of this particular explanation, okay? Yes, military had a softball team and I was in it. Don't judge. If you can get to 10 things on that list, then we got something to work with. Now, don't feel bad if you only have 7, because by the time you get home tonight, you're thinking on it, you're gonna think of like 8 other things to add on. So take your time, there's no rush. All of these things are just things that occupy your time. These are important to you. I forgot to add that. These are important to you. So like I'm a big component for freedom. I don't care what your politics are. The lack of freedom for one is a lack of freedom for all. Because it's like a pendulum. Once it hits one side, it's gonna come back on the other. We're seeing it. So once you have those things, right? We're gonna go to the next column. The A+. It's the exact same item as what you put on the front, on the first column, and you're gonna prioritize. What are those things that is the most important thing to you? That's gonna be your number 1, and you're going to prioritize it all the way down. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Absolutely.
So you're saying for A+, we're taking from A, what's important, but what's not. What
You're-
out of that?
Oh, what order?
Yeah.
All of the items are moving over, you're just prioritizing it in the order of importance to you. So the number 1 thing on the top, the big amount is on the bottom.
I gotta wait. That ain't gonna work. I gotta think about it. I'll just put prioritize.
That's not a problem, not a problem at all.
Yeah, he said that. He said it's gonna make you think. It's gonna have you.
Do it as like a dry run now.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're gonna recommend, you know, this is gonna be something that you're gonna get more time if you think about it more. Don't freeze and not do anything now, but at least get a rough draft and consider reworking it later. But at least you get a dry run while Rashad's here, and you get the advantage of his experience and the hundreds or thousands of times we've gone through this with people. So that we can ask you the question that comes to mind, how do I think of this? How does this, how can I prioritize that? Or what's important to me? Things along those lines.
We have 10.
Looky there.
Okay, so I know that, like I said, you're not gonna get a thorough assessment of this tonight. That's not the intent. I'm just here to show you the current rate, how it's done, and you're gonna be able to build upon it when you read here tonight. So, just to kind of recap what we've done so far, on the first column, you just wrote down off the top of your head, the things you spend time doing, things that you spend money on, and the entire report. The A plus is you get the same list, now mine's a little bit different. It's the A plus column, the first time, I was kind of doing the first column, is the third one. The second column, you're taking the same list and you're prioritizing, you're ranking it from top to bottom, but it's most important to you is most was the least based on that list. And actually got. Now, at this point. Normally I have a red pen when I do this, I don't have a red pen on me right now, it's 95 days. I'm gonna take this red pen, I'm gonna start at the very bottom of this list. And I'm gonna ask myself this question, are you willing to die for that? Maybe if we were talking, we're talking about dying for something. Or being dramatic, or not. Because if we have nothing that's going to die for, then what is it? You know. So the answer is no, you're gonna move up one. If the answer is no, you're gonna keep moving up. Until you get to the point where you say, yes, I'm willing to die for it. You're gonna draw one line going across just like that. Now again, nobody's looking at your list. You will. Here's the point, here's the part that I'm saying. How often do we go to work? Do what we do? See that, yes. The faith is important to me. My wife is important to me. My kids are important to me. The ability for me to go out there and do what I want to do in the community is important to me. But how many of us is actually doing it? Like really? At the time that I was doing in 2019, I was a military instructor, working 80 plus hours a week, doing what I love doing, mentoring kids or 20-year-old graduates that are really struggling the same person I was struggling with. Forget they're about to go out there and lead people out there in the front lines. I love doing that stuff, but yet I would come home and I would be so worn out that by Friday nights, I was too tired to do anything like this, so I would visit a few nights, I would go to sleep. Saturday, if I wasn't doing softball tournament or whatever, I would literally enjoy Saturday afternoon. That was the only day for me that I could really enjoy my family. Because all day Sunday, I dreaded Monday. And all you think about is, I gotta wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to restart the whole grind. It's like all over again. Yeah, how many of us actually keep doing this? You're only telling me that the entire week, you only get to enjoy Saturdays on Saturday afternoon. Is that really living, man? And what do you get at the end of it? 20-year picture with the military, right? Your body's broken down, my body's still feeling it, right? I got a paycheck that's not worth half of where it is now compared to where it was 5 years ago. My kids, right, at that point, they'll be just about graduating high school. But yet, I would be gone more than 75% of their entire upbringing. Really seeing those things are important to me, if they're really living that out. No. So, and just a further point to point across, maybe you say, well, Rashad, you raise your right hand and you support the defendant and make yes. I will fight and I will die for freedom. But yeah, I am not willing to die for a 20-year pension. We're not at war where another country's get ready to fight us on our own soil. We're going over there. There's a big difference. Now, if it was over here, it's a different story. If you really, I'm not gonna go down the rabbit trail, but you get the point. So you can take this and apply it to your own situation. Are you serious about making a change? Some of y'all are like, you know what, man, this is keeping part. I've had grown men crying in front of me doing this because they realize how much they have sacrificed in the name of making money, and they have no idea what they're giving up. So at this point, Peyko says, where your treasure is, your heart is also. So out of your list that you created here in this A+ column. Circle the top 3 things. And if I look at your bank account. If I look at your time schedule. What are the top 3 things you spend the majority of your time per week doing?
Wait, say that
What are the top 3 things that you spend the majority of your week doing? At the time that I did this. Military. Softball. And the gym.
Good Lord.
Now you may be saying, Rashad, why are you willing to die for fitness? I'm not saying that I'm willing to die for a six pack. How can I be the father to my boys to make sure that I still can outrun them by the time that I'm 60? How can I be the husband that my wife deserves to be able to physically do things with her if I can't take care of my own self? That's what. I'm actually living it right now, to be honest. I just had my second bout of blood clots. In the last 7 years, and that has totally changed and transformed the way how I go about doing things. I'm doing it because of this. If it wasn't for this, I'd be doing something that I would have no idea what I'm doing. But because of it, I know why. So my workouts are different and everything else, but it's based off of this. So at this point, let me ask you this question. If you were actually going through this list and you start with the top 3 things, are those 3 things above or below the line? 98% of the people that I do this with, all 3 of them are below it. So at this point, people are like, okay, well, what do I need to do? This is the part, guys. And you guys might be wondering, guys, listen, like, I'm a business owner. Why do I need to know this stuff? Because your business is attached to this. You're gonna learn by the end of tonight, if you're saying that you really want to fulfill these things, but you're spending the majority of the week doing something that's not gonna get you there, then why are you doing it? Why are you wasting your time? Well, let's just get real. So at this point, this is just me, right? I like to put numbers next to each of the things that I want to die for. The amount of things that's on your list is irrelevant. It's yours, all right? It's yours. So now we're going to go to the B side. The B column is you're going to describe what is it going to take for you to actually fulfill those things above the line. So for example, faith. So for me, that's 1. So for 1 alpha, daily devotion. And then 1 bravo would be family trips in Israel. What is it that you're wanting to do that you believe will fulfill whatever that is above the line? What is it that you would say that if you did this, that's bringing you closer towards fulfilling whatever that is, and how you describe it? So you can do just for tonight, you can do 2 to 3 things. That's fine. Matter of fact, if you're feeling like, okay, we're too far ahead, let's work on mine. What would you give me 1 more for faith? What would be one thing that you would want to do to say that, you know what, I'm actually going towards whatever that is for you, faith-wise? What would be an example of that?
Like regular church attendance,
What's that?
like regular church attendance.
Okay. Sorry, say again?
Practicing.
Yeah, all right, so I only got space for 2 to 3 per. So now, as a husband, would you say that obviously for you want to be your husband? Okay. What would be some of the things that you want to do to fulfill that? We'll put on the board. We'll work on that.
Date nights,
Okay, how often?
once a week.
Okay.
You want to date that
I'm a
much?
busy man, all right? I'm not.
He want 10 kids, I forgot.
I'm efficient, all right?
Kids now?
Three.
He on the road to 10.
Here's what the road is at. All right, and then here's how I point this, guys, because that was on mine when I did this in 2019. In the military, I was lucky to take my wife out a date once every quarter. Like, just think on that for a second. Once a quarter, it's funny, because like you would think about it. Women are like a crock pot, men are a microwave. You're not cooking anything good on a instant crock pot.
Not gonna happen.
What's that?
And they were scheduled by the military.
Exactly, the MWR, mandatory funds, we always call it. So like, you see the point, how can you actually be the husband or the spouse of your spouse theirs if you're not even giving the time to actually make that happen? All right, so weekly dates, give me another one.
Daily affirmations. Oh, sorry.
You can give somebody, you're wonderful, you're beautiful. I love how you take care of the children. I love how you do this.
From a time, so when you do this particular piece side, think of it in terms of things that you're gonna spend time, how much time devoted towards that activity. So you can say affirmations, but how would you, okay, that's fine.
Okay.
So what would be an example of your spouse? What would it make you look up to your spouse? So time together, so like, okay, so we already had dates. Being equally yoked. So like an example that would be, okay. For example, for my wife, she's always, or especially in the military, she's always with the kids. So, daddy daycare. She gets a day to herself. Or
In new terms, self-care. 'Cause that's what
self-care,
that's what they
self-care
say.
for the spouse.
Yeah, that's self-care.
Spouse self-care. People have a spa day with her girlfriends. Self-care. Okay, one more. And if we can't think of another one, then we'll move on to the next one. Matter of fact, let's do that. We'll do kids. Give me an example of how would you fulfill their commitment to your kids?
Take them to the park.
Okay.
Being present for real.
Yeah.
That's what the children need, huh?
Yeah, do an activity with your kids.
Like sports
Every-
events, you know.
So, not only that, so like, I know for me personally, I made it a point that I wanted to be the one picking them up and taking them. So, absolutely.
What about
Absolutely.
homework?
That too. So, you know, because again, so, pick up. Or, you know, be involved in coaching them, right? And just put that down. Okay,
Dinner. Yeah, I mean, back when I was young, we were at the table.
Yeah, some people don't eat at the table no more, but I believe
Okay.
in that, because I like to talk to my children. How was y'all day today? What y'all learn? Even though they don't be studying, I want to know. Talk to me.
okay, good. All right, so then we have that. Now we have freedom. Now, here's what I mean by freedom. Again, it's just me. Freedom is not just, you know, that we just do live the land free. What I mean is, we get to actually have the freedom to do the things that we get to do, and it's on us to preserve it. So if that means that we need to be active in the community with engaging with law enforcement, because they need love to, especially right now, right? What does that look like?
Well,
Yes. So, I mean, and again, this is not just one way, how will you define that? For me personally, I'm a product of entrepreneurship. And how a group of two individuals saw my work ethic that paved the way for me to go to a showcase down in Miami, where the women's coach of West Point saw me. And the rest is history. If it wasn't for those two entrepreneurs, I'm not saying anything. So for me, is building an actual community center that's talking about entrepreneurship. So this is
That's how you define freedom.
that's one of my definitions for freedom. What's another one? And again, it can be whatever you want to do. What is it? What do you like to do?
Well, one time I went, I forget where I was, but I asked if there was a police officer available. I think it was at the VA center, and I waited for him to come out, and when he came out, I just simply said, thank you for your service. Because for all the bad things that happened, a lot of good wouldn't happen if we didn't have the police. So I sometimes just go up to them and just tell them that I appreciate them being police, because everybody can't do that job.
That's all right.
Freedom. For me, freedom is, like you said, growing up in the streets of Connecticut. And I live in Florida, I'm a realtor now. But if a brother didn't tell me in Connecticut, man, you need to change your life, because you went on the wrong road. I'm afraid of being shot 3 times. So I take freedom, like you said, used to do. Part of the cars and the houses and all that stuff, that's what carry me to Connecticut. But I got a cousin come home in April after doing 30 years of a murder case. That's freedom. Everything else that comes with it. So when I hear people about freedom, the cars and my life, I'm a brother. They try to kill me every day. That's my freedom, just to wake up and I have to wear a tag level police on legit. They feel what I get. So that's freedom, not material. Just my life, to breathe every day, been shot 3 times, and then freedom. My freedom is just to wake up every day and sound like black man. That's my brother, right? That's my freedom.
So if that is to you, because the power behind your story is the ability for you to actually share that with somebody that doesn't know that.
Oh, I can change it back when I got.
So for you, that would be,
Brotherhood.
there you go. And that can be done in multiple forms. That can be done on social media, because again, that requires time. You're sharing your story. That can be done with a video on bid. If we have somebody actually, standing in front of a community. So obviously, okay, so good. So extended family, we're getting the point, extended family, so here's what I mean by that. Obviously, kind of, your family currently, but if you have a family close by, we have. Oftentimes we can spend time with nowadays with, our parents, cousins, and whatnot.
Intergenerational trips or intergenerational get-togethers. I mean, we actually took a cruise, which was thebomb.com.
Okay. So family events, that's the fun group right there.
Just pull out the card table and let's chill.
All right, so let's get one more.
Is this all full of freedom?
No,
Extended family.
Okay, so weekly phone calls, because again, you want to be specific. Because what the seed column is the bread and butter. Because your seed, you're quantifying what you're putting on the feed. So like for example, when I did this, I want my kids to see their cousins, which is not here. So they're gonna take family trips.
Right, so I'd say. I'll say forgiveness. Because a lot of times, family and friendship are 2 different things. You can hold a grudge of a friend that you had 30 years. Yeah, that's okay. But family, that's one people that in life. So sometimes forgiveness is hard, but
It's required.
And then you have to come together and grow.
So explain to me how would you be able to quantify that in terms of time and or money?
You spend time with those that you may have had a grudge against, just to build that relationship.
That's your own.
Necessary with family. I know that it might seem kind of.
So, right.
It really is healthy, I think, having learning. Having healthy knowledge will help your family be better.
Yes,
Especially
yes.
extended families sometimes. I think because you feel the cross line or cross, it causes for the time where now you gotta try to give something that's totally appropriate.
Sure.
And so if you have those, that mindset and you can teach people.
How to
That space, I think it really does help to build more. Family units.
That's where I was going with it, intentional, because like my sister and I, we have the best relationship growing up, but now it's that value is that's for today. So even though I may not see her all the time, but I'm gonna be intentional at least sending her something, a post on IG or on TikTok. So it doesn't have to, because there's pain behind whatever happened with the relationship. But I'm gonna be intentional with still letting her know I still love you. Sure. Some sort of technique.
Okay. So, thank you, I spent a little bit of time. Just so that you guys know, this topic, it ties into everything. Normally it takes me about at least 7 hours to go through. So we're just condensing the meat and potatoes into why this is important for your business right now. The last one we'll do is fitness. Now, again, this is just me personally. Fitness is important to me for those reasons. I can't do those things that we just discussed if I'm not in the best shape. Okay. So for me at the time, I'm thinking, okay, I need to make sure I'm involved in the contact sport at the time. Now I don't have that, and I'm, very grateful I had that opportunity. But how would you define fitness for you? In what way? What does that look like? Is it morning runs or weekly or daily morning runs, weekly gym trips?
I'm excited and walking every day.
Good for you.
So I put on my vision board 3 times a week. Walking. I've been doing
half hour every day. There's no reason why we get walk a half hour every day. So even if it's late, or even if it's early, when we make it happen, it has been pretty transformative the ones we have started.
Excellent. I'm loving it. So here we have, just to recap what we've done so far. This is just a randomized list of things that came to your head. What are things I spend time and money doing? In reality, if you sit down and think on this, you give it time, you got about maybe 15 to 20 things plus. You're gonna take the same lives, you're gonna prioritize things. Take the most important things in your life, you're gonna draw a line below the things that you say you want to die for. The B list is you're describing per item, what is it gonna take for you to actually fulfill that particular item? Now, here's where we're going to put the work in.
That already worked.
If you guys want to take a photo of this, you can see this, because I'm about to erase this side of the house. I'm leaving the B up because I don't have enough time. I don't have enough space for the C.
No erasing.
So everything above the line on your A plus, you're describing per item, doesn't matter how many things per, you can have 10 things for one. You are literally describing what do you want to do to fill that A plus.
I just got it.
Very good, Bobby. I appreciate you. You and both.
Oh, y'all ain't never had one.
No.
There you go.
And, you know, like time to time.
Like a finger brush.
Hey, man.
You're right for maybe 10 seconds of crap. I mean, if you really think about it while he's doing this thing, how many motivational books do you see at a bookstore? There's piles and piles and piles and piles of it. But yet, when you look at the majority of businesses, they also have. With the exception of like maybe 2 or 3. And what I mean by that is, and just so you know, I'm a blunt as they come, like that.
Give it to us, please.
But if you really look at it, if you look at 10 businesses, 8 of them are failing. And here's what I mean by that. If a business owner has to take out a loan to stay up, he fails. If he has to have his wife work in order to maintain the bills from his business, he fails.
For free.
if, it's real, like, when we look at it, what does success look like? If you look at the government will define success at depending on if you have a franchise, and that's sitting on the SBO.gov website. The owners of buildings would not default on the loan. That is success.
I don't want the loans.
So as long as you don't default on the loan, you're successful. Right.
So when you say
No. For example, here's what I mean.
That's what I was.
It's funny that you bring that up because, my very first client, when I was working for the company that kind of started this called Purple Monkey Garage. My first client first company that I spoke was a party lady. And she was saying, well, I'm about to take out this PPP loan. We're like, we're not to do that. You have to do this first to figure out, because to do this first to figure out what you can try to accomplish. Then, once you know where the end state is, you reverse engineer your success. Thank you. Because again, when you go through a maze, what's the fastest way to go through a maze? From start to finish or from finish to start?
Finish and start.
But yeah, how often do we do that in business? We don't. So we're definitely not talking that. This is right here is our endpoint here. So now what we're doing is, this is our C. We're not gonna have space. I like to remember this one.
We can get him to that.
No, we're good. I was moving this over. I'll do the math on this side. We'll get going here. So the C is you're quantifying everything in terms of money and over time. You're also adding in the people you want to do everything. So the first thing on my list is daily devotion. Not everything has to have all three. So daily devotion, I want to spend at least an hour of daily meditation and study. So 1 hour per day. Now, in order for this to work, you have to have a common denominator. So in terms of time, we have to do how many hours that we have the calculation. I need to do how many hours, like 1 hour a day for a year would look like.
1 hour times 365.
It's 365 hours.
That's too easy. All right. Like how I did it here, we're going to have a list, you can summarize everything. Okay, does it count? Does it require money? No. Family trip to Israel does. So, 1A, 1B. I want to take my family out for 3 weeks. How many hours is that? 3 weeks out of the year.
160 times 3.
504. 21 days.
And
Times.
if you're to guesstimate flight tickets, hotels, food, you're probably looking at how much money you can spend for that.
That's 504.
I'm gonna say 15,000.
15,000? That's about right.
Good Lord.
3,000 just.
Okay.
You haven't even eaten yet.
Right.
That's just sticky.
Okay, now, I'm so glad you brought that up. Guys, let me ask you this. There is a difference. Some of y'all probably thinking, what things that I want to do seems way up here, and where I'm at is right now, this right here. Like, it's not matching your income. Disregard it. Don't be like the zoo coasts, where the cage is taken out and you're still going in a circle. Forget that. Let's just focus on it, because again, the trip talk about it. Sorry with the finish line, but also what sort of man think is so is. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter where you're going. So this is where we're gonna start going here. So now church, somebody mentioned church. What does that look like? How many hours? We're not talking about going to church Sunday and Wednesday. Do you want to be involved with the church? What does that look like in terms of time that you want to commit?
How many activities does your church have?
Well, that's up to you.
You got bake sales, you got barbecues, you got remembrances, you got mixed up, you got cleaning, you got.
How much time are you wanting to commit to this? Because a lot of people, here's the thing, we don't plan. Look at the greats, what were they good at? They knew how much time they were going to spend. It's the reason why if you ever try to talk to them, they're like, bro, I'm busy.
Right.
Because they got this stuff already planned out. We just think we're just gonna show up and all of a sudden success falls on our lap. No, that's not how this works.
Oh, man.
So, let's just say. Okay.
So let's just say 4 hours a week.
10 hours a month? Okay. 10 hours a month, so what does that look like? 120?
I do about 2.5 hours every week, you know, whatever. So you do about 2 hours, 4 hours every week.
When I was an instructor, it would literally pain me for this, so sorry for my history. All right, so how many hours is that in a year? 120. Thank you. Does it require money to do this?
No.
No.
But if it did, if you wanted to project where you put some money, could you put that on? Cool. Next thing, weekly needs. Okay, fellas. Just say, so every time I do this talk, I would say, I want to devote 4 hours.
Set your budget,
of
baby.
undivided attention to her, whatever, that doesn't have to be in a day. And people are like, you're only limiting her to 4 hours. No, I'm scheduling that. I'm prioritizing that. Because it might be 2 hours one week and it might be more the next. It doesn't matter, but you're at least scheduling that so you know when it comes down to the end of it, is it worth doing whatever that opportunity is? That's what this is for. So that those are not getting into trouble, I'm gonna say 4 hours per date. Okay, so weekly dates, so 4 hours per, that's 16 hours per month. So how many hours a week, a year?
208.
Okay, now here's the tough part, fellas. It's gonna cost you some money. So. I always say 500. And you have, it doesn't matter, it doesn't have to. That was your fault.
You got more time, keep going.
It's okay. I'm gonna keep mine short.
I was showing that.
Let him go, man.
Keep going.
What is yours?
$500, okay? $500 per day. Okay, or is it $500 a day?
Per day?
Doesn't matter.
Per day.
Well.
I want the cucumber on my eye.
Spouse self-care. Okay, so that means for me, day daycare. So I'm literally watching my boys for the entire day. So if I'm doing that once a week, right? 24 hours times 52.
A lot. 12:48.
Well, I'm just gonna say that she's, whatever she does, 12:40, excuse me.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, let me think about this.
are you sure?
That doesn't make sense.
24 hours.
24 hours times 52.
Oh, okay, yeah,
24 times 52.
yeah, that's right.
It's been wrong until I was a rock master. That's a military term for you had to take summer school to complete. All right, so that's that. And then park. So how much time do you want to devote to your kids?
2 hours in the park.
Wow.
It's too hot, honey, so y'all put an hour cap at the park.
So 1 hour, okay, so 1 hour a day, so 1 hour a day, so 365 a year. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
You said coaching, so school pickup and coaching. No,
We only have 8,760
I'm glad you
hours.
brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up because this is gonna tie in. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, it's good. This is good. It's gonna tie yourself in. We just gotta work at this real quick. Just bear with me. Somebody brought it up. Because when we get to that part, it's gonna blow your socks out.
Oh, God.
It's gonna blow your socks out. Okay, so kids, okay, now we're talking about, devoted time for school pickup and coaching and whatnot. So that goes into the 1 hour a day. Now we're talking about family dinners. What are we looking in terms of time in regards to that? An hour, so another
365.
Yeah.
And I would make one adjustment to the children one for 12:48. You're not watching for a full 24 hours. Let's say it's 16 hours. So it's 16 hours a day, 8 hours of sleeping. So 16 times.
Oh, no, you guys want to help me. All right, so. All right, so like I said, freedom for me is the ability to get back and educate the generation behind me to be able to achieve what they're really trying to do. So, to your point, that would look like a 2 hour a week commitment, but in order for me to build the community center or buy it, it's gonna require some amount of money. Okay, so I'm gonna say, what is this? So 2 hours a week. How many hours? That's 104? 104. And then that's it's gonna cost me, based on today's rates and everything. Depending on where I'm at, obviously, I'm gonna budget about 150. Okay. By the way, the community center thing, the idea came, was it a community center type of the tennis facility where I grew up in? I plan on buying it. Well, that's about how much it cost me to get it. So. Law enforcement engagement. What does that look like? Does it seem like you want to do events? You want to take the time to say, you know what? If you're a business owner and you own a food truck, you know what? Hey, listen, we want to have this engagement. So I want to devote at least one day out of the month or whatever, it doesn't matter, where it's a law enforcement appreciation, or we get to take city leaders or community leaders together and we're having a roundtable discussion. Whatever it is that looks like for you, what does that look like? They're gonna say an hour a week, whatever. Sure. So that's another 52 hours. So 4D. And it's gonna cost you a ton of food to do all that. So we're gonna say 10,000 a year. Your testimony. So what does it look like for you?
53 years of struggling.
Okay, so
how are you gonna tell that testimony? Are you gonna host events or how are you gonna get that out to the people? So, okay. Well,
time to do the book and it's a year. A year?
No, it's already been going through.
He's been working on it for a year.
Okay, so how long have you, would you say you used to
I've been
go?
working on the last 5 years.
Good Lord, Jesus.
It's a good book. So how many hours a week would you say you devoted to it?
I do like 2 hours.
2 hours, so 104 again. Okay. All right, okay, cookout. How often are we doing that? Once a quarter? Once a month? That might be too
This is
often.
extended family?
We did once a year.
Once a year.
Who say once a year?
Yeah, but, well.
Is that once every quarter? All right, so if we're doing once every quarter, right? Right, it's always gonna be an all-day event, so 24 hours
Okay.
times 4. Excuse me.
Probably about 16,
Thank you.
8, 10, 12. Because I'm taking a nap.
Fine, there you go. All right, so what is that then?
12
Four
times
So 4 quarters times 12.
4 quarters times 12. That's
48.
Okay, how much money we putting down on this?
That's why.
I mean, it's thing will come free. So we're gonna say what?
$2,000.
2,000?
I don't know. We sent out, we took our parents, what did we do? We took them to a hotel for bought their food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And that was because they wouldn't go out, it was COVID,
Right,
so.
all right, we got 3 more. So weekly contact, someone I was mentioning, reaching out to your loved one, making sure they're okay, so. Again, it's not that you're blocking,
That's a time.
you're being intentional with the fact that you're going to reach out to your loved ones and say, hey, what's going on? So you say what? An hour? Even though they not even last time, so maybe 2.
No.
No, he's not like home, but.
You can talk to that one on the phone with you for that entire hour.
You're just listening. You're not even talking.
Right.
And I went to the doctor. Let me tell you, my bunion is gonna have to come off.
Oh, 2 hours every practice, so at 2 practices that game day is 4 hours, so 10 hours a week. So that's 520 hours. Excuse me. The season was only 8 months long, so 10 hours.
32 weeks, 320.
Thank you.
I did the advanced math.
320, and then it cost me with everything about
$600.
okay, and the daily walks. You say an hour a day, so
Half hour day.
Half hour,
half hour.
so that's the.
So 26, okay? Now, here's where the fun part begins.
Oh,
We need to
boy.
add all the fun.
Add all them hours. up.
So, my calculator person, you're gonna literally add all of the parentheses numbers.
Are you kidding me? What do you
And then the next person's gonna add up all the money. Because your C is.
Time, I'm looking at time, I know. 8, and then you gotta take that and divide it by 3. Or 4, 8 hours of sleep, even if it's 3. So let's say that you.
3,881 hours.
Okay, so, all right, so we got a total of,
So that's what it's gonna be.
How much?
3,881.
3,881 hours. Now, as people already alluded to, there's how many hours in a year?
8760.
I need a bigger whiteboard.
881 divided by.
He like me, he don't like to turn it up. I don't want him.
8760.
So
So
8,000.
44% of the time, 8760.
8760 minus 3881 is how many?
Oh, I don't know what
Oh,
that,
we
but you got one more minus.
Oh,
Oh, okay. Okay. 876.
48.79.
4879. Now, all we accounted for is the time that we devoted that we want to, excuse me. We accounted for the time that we want to devote to this. Now, how many of y'all are really averaging 7 hours of sleep?
Nobody.
You must not be a parent if you are.
I gave 6
So 6 hours?
and 2,190 hours.
Say it again.
2,190 hours.
Okay, now go ahead and take that away from this.
2,689.
Say it again.
2,689.
The total hours in a year, minus the hours that you're doing, minus the hours of at least.
To sleep.
Okay, so are you missing anything? Very accounted for the fact of how many hours in a year, very accounted for sleep. I feel like I'm missing one more.
The way you earn money, right? Like you're.
But that's the thing. Okay, so we have here this number. Divide that number by 52. Guess how many weeks in a year?
Divided by 52. 51.7.
51.7. So I'm gonna say that's 52 hours in a week. That is the max amount of hours per week that you're going to devote to whatever your business is. Maybe it could be your full-time for that. If that's what you're doing. Wow, 52 hours. So your C, this when I say, because I'll ask people, what is your C? especially after they've done this. Because they'll ask me, Rashad, I got this new opportunity, man, should I do this? And I'll always say, what is your seat? Because I'm not gonna tell you if that's a good opportunity if I don't know what your seat is. So you're gonna say, to fulfill what I want to die for, I'm working, in this case, 52 hours or no more than 52 hours per week. And I had to make, who did the calculation for the month?
178,100.
What?
178,100.
Oh, we need to increase that.
52
And you're making
per week.
and make 100 and said what?
178,100.
Okay, now, again, this is the first time y'all seeing this, it's probably on your mind, that's okay. But if you really want to get down here.
All the money on that column.
When I first did this, my number was almost 600,000.
And that's after tax.
Yeah, correct.
So that means you have to make more just to cover the
Yeah,
tax.
you're gonna have to make about 230 to get to that number.
Right.
Now, you pull the single wage months, they're like, what? Because again, you're comparing what you're currently doing to that, and the answer is, can it be done? The answer is absolutely a yes. Party lady. First company. She wasn't even a client, she was the first company that I did it with. She went through this, and when she did it, she got emotional. And just so that you know, this would happen. I did this in 2019. Less than a year later, I'm talking to this party store like in Dallas. And she's like, I was having a pretty good party business, selling savings to yourself. And I had people come in my business, and then COVID came. And now I got that. Well, okay. What is your goal? What is your exit strategy when it comes to your party business? She had no idea what that was. And that's the first clue that tells me that you don't know this. Because if you do have an exit strategy, this tells you how you're going to exit your current business. So she's like, okay. So she did it. And when as soon as she finished it, she was like, well, what can I do? Because her number was like, she needed to work less than 40 hours a week, and she needed to make like right around that number. And I said, okay, well, the answer is not selling more product. That's not it. Your answer is developing your brand based off of that. And here's what I mean by that. And how much time do I have?
We're over.
Go.
Go, keep going.
Just keep going.
Finish your thought.
On and on. It's not even on. This time there.
Let's go down to 3 minutes.
No.
Can we finish in 3 minutes?
No, can we get another 3 minutes?
Okay. So I said to her, okay. Well, based off of your seat, now that you know, you're gonna see that you're not gonna be able to maximize your current productivity and still meet it. And she's like, well, what do you mean? Okay. Based on how much product that she had, what's your profit margin on the streamers? $2. Well, how many streamers you have to sell just to hit that? How much are balloons? $3. How many? You get the point?
Oh.
So the answer is not, I gotta sell my product. The answer is, how do I position my business so that I can actually hit that? And so what we did was, we said, okay, now it's COVID, this is during COVID. People are like, oh, COVID's hitting and I'm strapped. No, it's more opportunity. So what is the businesses that's actually thriving because of COVID, when people are buying homes?
Amazon.
Right?
Dropship.
So here's what's going on with the homes. We got new establishments, people are moving in. What are some of the ways that people feel connected when you have a celebration of the event each person's home? So if you were to make a deal, because again, my job at the time was making deals as a sports agent for business owners, right? And I'm telling them, listen, you go to the HOA and you say, for every single home that is sold, I'm going to put forth a celebration environment. I got streamers, I got banners, I got balloons. Welcome to your new home, your castle, because of COVID. Right? Now, here's the thing. This is an example of marketing. If I had more time, I'd discuss what the difference between advertising and marketing, what a real brand is and what it is not. But if you are that person that just bought the house and you saw this lady that's a local town person, are you more than likely going to go to her for your birthday parties, your kids' soccer games, and all this other stuff, as opposed to going on Google?
Yes.
We checked back with her 2 months later, she already got way more business than the year prior. Because again, one HOA, think about it, how many homes are in those HOAs?
Could be 100 plus.
So if you got a deal with one, you just pulled 50 different levers. And how much work did it take? A conversation over the phone. It takes a difference in how we think. It is not, I gotta sell more stuff. No, that's the reason why, because you go down the street, and you got businesses dying. Because they're thinking about it wrong, because they don't know this. Like I said, I could go on and on, but anyway, questions?
We're gonna save you later, everybody.
Rashad, can you go ahead and share with them and let the people know how they can contact you for further, breakdown of this and how you can take their life from zero to hero?
To be honest with you, to be completely honest with you, you already have it within you. The question is, do you want the psychosis? Where you go in the same circle now that the cage has been ripped off? Because once you go through this, guys, like the opportunity is right there. Now, if you want to talk to me about it more, just reach out to Clifford and we'll be able to get together. We'll go to Panera's or something like that. We'll talk about it. We already did it with terrible with names, I'm sorry. Leah. And we had a blast. And so, if that's what you guys want to do, then yeah, we'll get that set up. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, we can work on another event, we'll have just. We'll get some.
That's what it says, very important to.
We all leave.
We all know.
Right.
But I knew, I said, I'm looking at all. I'm like, look at them.
Yeah.
We're gonna come to this now. So, my name's Clifford Mitchem. I am Mr. Sunshine, as I alluded to earlier. All right, the next part I'm gonna take you through is gonna be the speed version, because we are getting pressed on time. Because, Rashad had tremendous information, and like I said, you actually get sit down and go into it in farther depth, it's tremendous. The key thing about it is, when you are implementing the plan that is going to set you in motion, take advantage of everything, it comes with the 6 Ps. Proper prior preparation prevents potential problems. All right, many of us, think of it. 1 month starts tomorrow. February. What is special about February?
Valentine's Day.
Black History Month.
Thinking.
Many of us plan something through our business for Black History Month. Fun.
Wanted to, but.
Right. The key thing about that is we are not doing proper prior preparation. We have an entire year, we know what's going on, but we're not taking the time to sit down and walk through that. So now if you look at the packets you have in front of you, the second page is an outline of all the holidays for the year. For the first 6 months, flip that over, all the holidays for the other half of the year. All right. Now, it's not a completely exhaustive list. There's, love your French Bulldog Day, and I love my cat day. I left those off the list. My point of this is we're going to look at the entire year as a whole. So right off the bat, many of us mentioned Valentine's Day. So if your business is sensitive to Valentine's Day, what planning do you need to do to take advantage of that? What are your key steps with marketing and advertising to your people? First off, being marketing, identifying who your people are above all. Because these are the people you need to contact. And you want to focus on your ideal people. Like, for example, with cakes, everybody loves cakes. However, you focus your marketing on everybody, and Rashad has better definition of marketing, so please forgive me for sake of time. But if you focus on everybody, you know what you end up with?
Nobody.
Nobody, exactly. So make sure you're focusing who you're identifying who you want to talk to, who the people are. All right. Now we're going to focus on how do we talk to them? What are the avenues that we use to advertise to them? Many cases, I'm gonna give you the answers here for the sake of time. Social media, print, all right, newspapers, digital. What kind of signage can we put in? Whether it's in a restaurant, whether it's in an electronic newspaper, or something like that. Interviews, can we get on TV showcasing it? Can we host events? Are we doing networking? What are the avenues that we're going through to get in touch with our people and with our clients? Okay, and then we're gonna focus on how we're gonna do that. So now when we look at each of these months, all right, and we're gonna do a quick step down from that. In the year, you have your events, you know, they're coming up. Valentine's Day, Christmas, Mother's Day, Father's Day, and the like. All right, each one of these is broken down into the month. So I want you all, just to make a note of it, for January, break down what holidays or special events you have in January. Then you want to look at that. What do you have in February? What do you have in March? All right. So that way we can look at each month and have a jump on what we want to accomplish. How are we going to reach out to our people? For example, my man Joe here does shirts. Valentine's Day shirt, couples shirts. What else they have going on? Birthday shirts. You know, what's the biggest birthday month?
February.
May. Generally, the biggest birthday month is March.
Really?
Right. Because June's a honeymoon month.
Oh.
Think about it. All right, that's skipping a little bit. That's an old statistic, but it generally fits about that. All right. So, and then what's I think it's also September because of right. It's shifting a little bit. That's an old statistic. All right, but
That's the
my point
December
being,
cold month.
the correlation. You see that when you look at blizzards that drought 9 months later, expected to have more babies. All right. So, COVID, right? So we had a baby during COVID, so my wife was pregnant then, so that didn't help. But all right. But nonetheless, all right, we know this stuff ahead of time, and it only takes a matter of planning. So the exercise I want everybody to do. Originally, I set down extra pieces of paper so we can go ahead and walk that through. But for the sake of time, I'm just covering this for you. So this is a little bit of homework that we're going to have. But it's the proper preparation that's going to enhance what we're going to be doing. Because the key thing is, if you've only got 52 hours to work, let's make every hour count. And that means when we're doing the things that count, we're doing the activities that take us to our success. We don't have 3 hours to sit on Facebook just because we want to make one post and then we got time to talk about what Ray and JoJo and Keen were doing. All right? We'll take the time. We gotta make money. We gotta make sure we're focused on it. And we need to know what month is what's going on in each month. And then we want to take those months and break that down to our quarters. All right. So every 4 months, every 3 months is 1 quarter. January, February, March. You know, it breaks down from there. And we have our annual and our quarterly. And then from each quarter, you know exactly what you're going to be doing in that time frame. So now we're looking at Q1. All right, that means January through March. Look at the activities you have going on, what you're going to be doing for your preparation. All right, you can make particular posts ahead of time and schedule them out, or just post them later. You can put down topics. I may not be able to want to do my video today, but I'm going to talk about this on this day, so I have it ready to move forward. And this way, all my content is out. And in particular for social media, here's an interesting fun fact about social media. Social media is not to make money. It is to be social. Nobody wants to hear about your ad, your special, what you want them to buy every 5 seconds.
Sure, John.
All right? It's a turn off. All right. But what you use your social media for is to create your list, get your contact information, be social. You have their name, phone number, and email address. If you do not have that, you do not have a follower, you don't have a customer, you don't have anybody to put into your funnel.
All right, because we're only with that, the value of your business is the value of your list. You can have 10,000 followers on your Facebook profile, or your Instagram, your TikTok, or whatever. If you don't have their phone numbers, and all of a sudden you said something, or somebody posted something on your feed, they get your account locked. How do you talk to people?
There's a way to stop that from the back end.
Theoretically, but you can say something in a conversation wrong, or not wrong, that isn't approved, and then you know you're locked out. My account got hacked. I lost 7 years worth of information, and I can't get it back.
Oh, my.
All right, luck. I have most of my people's contact information, not everyone. I wasn't as diligent as I should have been, but overnight, gone. All right, I was in the middle of doing buying a car off of Marketplace. One day, I'm talking to the guy online, next day, I'm ghost. I'm just gone, no way to contact. So if you don't control the contact information to your people, you don't have people. All right, and all that needs to be going into a CRM, Client Resource Management. And here's a good game for you. Bitrix24.com. You can go to HubSpot, you can go to these other big names and pay for a CRM. Bitrix24 will give you one for free.
How do you spell that?
BITRIX 24. Right?
24.
BITRIX 24. And that's a CRM. It'll let you organize your people, it'll get you your email contacts. You can do bulk email messages, you can schedule things, you can do so much with that, so you can stay in contact with the people. Because this way you can again plan ahead. You're already sending out birthday reminders, you know you're sending out this group of people outside of another group of people, because you can tag group one. You don't want to say I have to send a happy Mother's Day to your male clients. Unless they're, you know what they are. But that's a whole other conversation. All right, but the point is, you have certain people you want to contact in certain ways, you can tag them. We'll go through that. All right, so you break down your year, your quarter, your month. Now, when you are in a particular month, you'll see there's another sheet for your weekly planner. Take this one home and copy it, take a picture of it, however you want to do it digital, so you can make a clean copy of it later before you write on it. You're going to need one of these for every week of the month. All right, because you're going to break down your month and break it into 4 weeks. Now, what are you doing on that time? All right, is these activities. So you break it down the week. Monday from this time to this time, I'm sleeping. This starts at 5 a.m., finishes at 9 p.m. All right, if you have other times, you can go ahead and touch that. But the point being, you break it down from there further. Now you look at the whole year, broken it down into your quarters, broken your quarters down into your months, broken your months down into your weeks down into your days. And now when you're focusing all your time only on the things that will maximize your time. It doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense. All right. So we're gonna curtail that on time. Quick questions on that process, that concept. Efficiency.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you have planned for your business for to celebrate or highlight Black History Month?
For Black History Month, I've created an entire marketing plan that makes solar more affordable. So I've actually connected with an organization that focuses on what the people want, not what I want. I want people to go solar. All right, people like electronics. So I've connected with a group that provides tablets for anybody that has children on school lunch program. So for that, they're going to get a discount on going solar to make it more affordable. That's my game plan. Yeah. So planning ahead for that, and then going out through the whole year in different activities. And then also graphics, just to put on social media, keep it simple, just and then make an announcement. Because the big thing is, generally, one thing we're talking about is who died, or who got tortured, who got beat, or whatever. Black history is part of it. All right. Does everybody like refrigerated food? You know who made the first refrigerator truck? Black man, Thermo King. All right. We all get food for that, but people generally don't know that. All right. Everybody likes to go through stop intersection orderly, right? Black man came up with the street light. All right. When you have your children running around with the water guns, Black man created super soaker. All right, there's lots more stuff that we did beyond that. So I'm going to cut that in for time and go over. So
Wes, is there anything you can cover in the, we have time left?
It's your turn now.
Yeah. So I hope that condensed enough to bring it down. Mine is definitely not as interesting as Mr. Rashad. I think I boiled it down.
Yeah.
We got till 9 and then 9 to 9:30.
All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Wes Moussignac. I was going to talk about a little bit about podcasts. Podcast for entrepreneurs on deck, what's in your business podcast. You can find it on Anchors, for those who don't know about Anchor. It is a platform for, creators, innovators, business owners, people like to get on there, introduce their ideas, their opinions on things, maybe even to sell a product and get people excited about, whatever's going on with you. So it's Anchor.fm. You can just put Anchor on Google. Then, research the platform so you can get on there, but it's a free platform. You can get on there and basically buy into the product or not buy into it. There is a free subscription, but that's also in paying subscription. But most of you know about podcasting already, so I want to piggyback on what Rashad was going in. He talked about, is he a motivational speaker? I think he is. He's also a teacher. But what I want to do, I want to share some words with you to, give you some more encouragement on basically, doing business. A lot of us are new business owners, and we're trying to get our feet wet. And this network, we have a lot of organizations that with us, that sharing ideas and helping each other build. So I want to ask this question: how many of y'all feel great right now? How many of y'all are excited about life? How many of y'all are excited to do business?
All day.
How many of y'all had a tough week this week? Or last week? That's still Monday, but it's already a long week. How many of y'all can't wait to go on the next page? So, for us. So I believe this. A lot of us here in this room are alive, have yet to live, let alone achieve any greatness. So before any one of us should allow ourselves to go away on vacation, have some fun in the sun, our colleagues, peers, friends, loved ones, we must be attuned, focused on the big picture. We need to be in our journey of exception and legendary life. Daily morning wake-ups, 5 a.m. physical ritual, and mental preparation are imperative. Very much the mindset, attitude, and components needed before we can truly enjoy this life. I know a lot of us here, we believe getting away for some fun in the sun during your path. I'm happy, excited, to be in front of you all this evening. The urge of that mindset is not. To get away and review is a must. To get away and review and come back to an average same as we were yesterday in life, it's a deficit. Your mind, body, and soul. Your health, potential health, your spiritual aptitude. When do we grow up and accomplish more than our dreams? When do we wake up and accomplish more than our dreams? When we all want to aim high to be great? Some of you may be thinking, what is greatness? It's like Cliff. Sean, Brian, Joe, Ebony, Peyko, the guy who runs this building over here. But how great was Nelson Mandela to be chained, shackled in a 4-feet room for 24 hours a day when he was brutalized, pissed on, fed dog food, human waste. For 27 years he was doing that. You wanna know how great was he? Great enough to overcome all adversities. And become president of South Africa. Great enough to forgive his captors when the people, the very people who brutalized and the biggest fight. That's how great was he. How great was Mr. Steve Jobs, the tech engineer who started a little tech company called Apple in his garage in the early 80s, went public, made millions, only to be ousted as CEO a decade later. How great was he? The now conglomerate Apple went into a period of decline in the mid to late 90s. The execs had no clue how to now stop a moving train wreck. Who did they finally decide to call in order to save Apple from insolvency, bankruptcy? My guest, genius himself, Mr. Steve Jobs. He went on a creative spree, created the Macintosh computer, the iMac, introduced the iPod, and revolutionized the whole mobile industry with the iPhone. You want to know how great was he? Great enough to leave behind a legendary outcome before passing away from pancreatic cancer. That's how great he. How great was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.? Home, bombed, twice. Every day was a near-death experience, and his fight for freedom. For the very person you see here, Kennedy Point, he marched, protested, and moved that very stuff needed for fairness and equality. That dream, that marvelous dream, had become new reality. How great was he? It is because of him we have more freedom. This man was in his dream. Was, is, educated. The last time we saw Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in real life, over 50 years ago. Over 50 years ago. This is my heart. And I know many of you out here right now, you're Black. It is yours as well. With the sound of my voice. I have a dream. I have a dream. Realize and realize. And God Almighty. Realize. And that's my question to you all this evening. How great are we? Think to yourself. How great am I? And if you don't know the answer to that question, I'm going to give you the answer. There can only be one answer. And I need you all to know this. We, that's right, we have the same potential to be just as great, greater than you can imagine, greater than we collectively envision. That's what I want you. That's what I want you to see. A life experience. No. Resort. Made it out here this evening of the DC networking event. Cheers to being friends.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Moussignac.
Let me put his chin on.
I can run across all of our kitchen guys. can't pull it out without the. Okay, so as I said in the beginning of this, the intention is to have some sort of education, some growth from it, some perspective. While you guys were here, I hope that something in your brain triggered to think about something and to take action. So not just think, but to take action, from the information from Mr. Rashad, Mr. Cliff, and Mr. Moussignac. With that in mind, I want to take a moment to talk about the DC network. So once again, we are a collective of predominantly Black and brown owned business owners, with the networking group based in the Dunbar community. There are many principles that we're trying to hit with our organization, but one is to create collaboration and growth in our community, in our business communities, not just by passing business, which is something that we do. Many people in our group have worked with each other or sent referrals to each other. Obviously, if you guys have ever been part of networking groups before, that is a big proponent of it. But we also spend time to develop as entrepreneurs. If you are a person in this room and you have all the connections, all the answers, and you have no more room for growth, then we are not for you. But if you are an organization or a person thinking of developing an organization and you want to partner with like-minded individuals, no matter where you are in your journey, 10 years, 5 years, 2 months, or just hang into it, we would like to be of service to you. We help with things, not just setting up the simple things like LLCs, but it could be anything from building credit or just motivation or accountability. Some of us have all the answers so far, but you just need someone to say, hey, check yourself at this point. How can you grow? How can you be a better service for yourself in the community? And the Dunbar Community DC Network has done that for me and other members of the team. So my ask of you guys, if you've enjoyed this, is to tell people that the thing that you've probably already talked about in this community, when you said, wow, why don't Black business owners come together? Or why isn't anyone telling me about these grants and these missions and all of these things? You've already said that we are, as a collective, which inviting you, fulfilling the answer of that. And I would just ask you to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend, and show up to a meeting. We meet every Tuesday at 8:30. If you're interested, when we're all done, network, pass out your cards, talk to any of our members, myself included. And we just want this community to be, or to show what it's capable of, because everything that we could ever need is already here. The space, the talent, the gifts, the money, any category you think of. And if you take away fear or ego, some people it's fear, the other people's gonna be ego. And if you can control these two beats that hinders our community, you can see that the whole thing will be changing like that, further than you can even imagine. So if you want to be part of the solution, reach out to us. Any of the team members, do you have any parting words?
I was going to ask you to give them the address to where we meet.
So we'll think, Cliff will close it out and he'll give some information on how to connect with us and we'll be good to go. All right.
I was just gonna say, real quick, like, one purpose of this is just to help. A lot of people always ask me like about my personal journey, and this the team behind me, basically. Like, outside of my hard work, this is the reason why I'm these are the people that hold me accountable. A lot of you guys that do follow me on social media, like I just purchased the house, built the house last week. Everything came from the people like, from the loan officer to the real estate agent to the solar panel guy, like everything was done right. We have a couple of members that's not here tonight. We do pass around referrals. Just with Andrew, I just did 200 shirts this week for Andrew, backdrop, probably about $2,000-3,000. Just son, I know we have a roof in the house. Just son Cliff, like 2 roofing jobs, last week? Last night, like just 2 roofing jobs. Like we definitely gonna, spread that money around. But it's not really about the money, because money can be made, but it's about keeping it here in our community, keeping it with us. Like we so quick to get $1 and run off somewhere. When we can just build what we have right here. So that was the main reason of this group being put together. And I want others to be blessed, like I've been being blessed. So that's like my main mission of really kind of trying to put this together. I want to see other people that prosper like me. I want to see Ebony put 20 other people in the house, and help people out. Because right now housing is crazy. Like, I mean, it's almost unaffordable. Like it's ridiculous. So I just want to kind of to share that, because I know we did a little something different with the workshop tonight, so we did a little something different, but I think Brian pretty much touched on everything, like what the group is mainly about, and we just want to kind of like.
And an added bonus to the group is that I myself and 3 or 4 of our members are in other networking groups in the community. Bonita, Naples, Cape Coral, Fort Myers. And when it comes to BNI and master networks and other groups, a lot of times when we're in these networking venues, we find ourselves culturally the only one. And I know what I mean by that, right? You're one or two. I think life is beautiful that you don't have to see color all the time. You don't have to always, you kind of just get assimilated into it. But culturally speaking, I like to be around people that laugh at the jokes I'm laughing at. And feel the way I don't have to put on, I say my Carlton voice. I can lower the Carlton just a little bit.
You raise up to Carlton, you raise up, come on, buddy.
The Carlton in it a little bit. That's how you gotta do it. You know what I'm saying? We're still going to be obviously whatever, but the idea that, okay, even with this event, we accounted for CPT.
You sure did.
I put in 6 o'clock when together. I know my people, so with that being said, not to create divisions, but to acknowledge our differences and to account for those are important. And yeah, man, so with that being said, I think we are dismissed. And before we go,
Before we
go ahead.
All right, so another key thing of these networking is we're not, as with leadership before, we're not about just business. All right, in this group, we have the thought leaders of the community. We, just from the networking that we've done within our group, we're actually in the process of forming a land bank in the Dunbar community specifically, that will soon be expanding into Southwest Florida. So the more that we talk about this, the more I hear more people say, I'll get a part of that. How do I become an investor here? Y'all really gonna do this? All right, because there's so much hope and so little action behind that. And we're a group based off of action. We move fast, so fast, a lot of people's heads spin. But the thing is, we are making the push forward to actually have this be a true community where we're dictating what's going on in the community. We don't have an outside organization that's telling us, go do this. Now go ahead, little blackface. You want to make sure this looks like this or whatnot, but it's not really an original idea. We're formulating original ideas or real plans that we want to see. There's organizations like McCullum Hall that is working on revitalizing. And those of you that aren't familiar with McCullum Hall, you're heading on MLK towards downtown Fort Myers, the yellow buildings right before the railroad tracks. That just sitting there, have been sitting there for years. They're actually going through redevelopment. And just by attending a meeting like that, it sparked the idea of getting this land bank going. And it was the people at DC Networking that are actually moving that forward. All right, so we do more than just get together and pass business around. We are actually going to be influencing and developing this community with what we refer to as a reverse gentrification. All right, everything becomes more affordable when you make more money. All right, so we're not about getting affordable housing per se. We're about making housing affordable because we're making enough money to make it affordable. Okay. All right, and there's many of us that can do that. The trouble is, many of those people go out and move to Cape Coral. Right. They move out to Lehigh, they go to Miami, they go to Naples to take the money out of the area. So we want to do more. I know my house is in Lehigh. There's nothing opportunity there. All right. No, but we did that because it wasn't an option. So we're creating it, and we know they took it there, but just because of the scandalous of this group and the thought process that came from that. Because honestly, the idea came outside of DC Networking, but DC Networking is what propelled the idea forward, actually being implemented. So we have a lot more going on. We have a lot of things in place, and we're
So come to the meeting and learn some more.
Yeah.
So I want to do a picture of everybody. That's like mine. And everybody, I got this camera. Can I take a picture for all y'all? Is that okay?
Oh, the address. What we're gonna do is make sure we have an email address, because it's easier to do that because our website, the website builder is together, but it's not connected.
So we're gonna be sending out emails for the address. We meet at the butterfly pit in downtown. We're actually. But the reason why I'm collecting everybody's information. At the end of. But everyone else will be sending out emails, text messages, and what we have coming up, okay? Do you have a phone? I need to take a photo. I don't know, I want to around that. I probably got in my home. I'm like, nah, I swear I'm in a networking event. We're trying to get over here by the second repeat. Now ready? I think it's 9 o'clock. All right. All right, that's acceptable. All right, let's go. Who's doing no more water? All right, so 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry, can you do that? I want to do it. Got it, got it. All right. Really enjoy that. I'm pretty confident. Yeah, I'm trying to get to it. Well, because that everything. All I know is that I mean, think about it. Everybody has done my. I should have asked you. What your brain is. Availability. You are not. You know, right now. My accountant, and I'm gonna look at the awesome because they heard from you.
or they say, you're giving the impression that you care about what I, so those are the things that when I'm trying, when I'm speaking to people, I think about it. And I'm thinking, well, I want to church, or building, oh. 40 hours a week. Okay, 40 hours a month, sorry, 40 hours a month. No, with my money, but it's a lot of work. And I have to start at the bottom, because nothing in the front. So. But I found that I was doing what they wanted me to do, they weren't listening. And it's hard to work if you're not gonna put it into it. They're not wasting my time. So it came to my head. I got out of it. I kept it simple because you might not like it, but you love it. However, now they understand what it was that I thought. Because they don't still and now they pay me for what I was willing to give. So understand what it is to have a brand. So let me the CEO of Roller was on a radio. I said, if you want to launch, I go to Walmart and you go get a you want luxury. Because their clientele are not but your confidence. You see that? I was thinking that I was but that's what they did. The night was just they don't know what that. Sorry, but and there's a reason because 19 they want to go back to commercial. I want to be like mine because those that's why they're different than unique. That's why they're different than boom. That's why you really have to give them the bond. Okay, so all right, I'm gonna have to think about that. But at least I have never had anybody I'm like, what is it? There's not some people part of your feet, so I right now.
I have to look at my inbox. Here's where I'm saying. So how's the boys enjoying it?
They love it. They were calling me while we watched since we film.
Oh, this is.
Yeah, I think so. They probably don't turn it off though. Oh, yeah, that's. I got you.
Cause I was say, I was looking at the account, the client has a headache and I'm. So I'm telling you, mine, a lot of people know. I am telling the boys, they love
They
it.
love it. They love it. It's just, it's just me and them. So, in Lehigh, I really wanted to get in the case, but like, I'm prices was climbing so fast, and then everyone was like, "Bro, you got this, you got this. You better make the move fast." So I had grabbed that one. And where? Hold on, I took that one. This was like this one that was being built back in March. In Lehigh, I'm like past there. Yeah, I'm out there. Yeah. That's my little brother. I'm the oldest. My dad and his boys. We miss someone. My little brother, all of them mixed. I'm the only dark skin. Yeah. So like. Well, one on. No, hold on. Well, yeah. I don't know if you seen my daughter, but that's my daughter. That's my daughter. That's my son. Yeah, she a senior in high school, so daddy ain't cool right now. He ain't cool no more. So well that was both of them at closing with Ebony. So, oh, that's a
Dinner.
yeah. Man, my daughter. I had to do a photo shoot. Senior picture. Yeah. I don't know what the picture is. My bad. I got it in here somewhere. Oh, hold on. No. I don't know what hold on. You got my text. I did not see it. I'm talking about the grave site. Oh, okay. I don't think it went through. I ain't see it. You do those though?
No, I haven't had any.
Like that's what's popping right now. Like I'm printing them things every day. Oh, what's up? I was gonna say, I definitely ain't see it. Yeah, them things popular. I know, like here, anyways, the folk miles like monkey see, monkey do. They see one person do something, then like everybody else want to do it. My bad, I'll be doing so much kind of stuff. Like, oh, I manage a little rapper. We had shot a video in the mansion. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, one lever. You got to bring it. Yeah, he's been a total of like 8 hours in a week before they see it. Definitely not doing that. And that's the part where he didn't get the part. They don't really put the arm like that. They're pretty serious. And I'm sure that I'll see you again. The ball and I'm like, it's stressing me out and I like what I do. I would just encourage that.
That's true. I had to fire because they were stripping me out. And then that was how you hire. You want to hire people that have that thing. So it doesn't matter if they know accounting, if you know teaching. You find those that really experience when people. They want to care about the community, they want to serve. When you're highly talking to people, if they carry those traits, they just happen to know accounting or know numbers, they're golden. If they know accounting, but they don't have that heart, that's a headache. Yeah, no. Now you know. Thank you. That's a pleasure.
This is gonna be a funny question. You do counseling as well.
You know, it's funny, you're like the fourth person that has brought that up. It's like I've done it in front of couples and I've literally been asked, are you a marriage counselor? No. I am not. But no, there's really no reason why people that take this because after I did this, it totally changed the way how I see things. And every decision became my decision. It looks like so. And then in regards to myself, involved at first, now I can see that now it's on board. And why not? There's another expense. That type of thing. So, but yeah, it's just a part of it. Like I say, you're just creating a mirror and you see. I know I'm not happy with where I'm at right now, but now you see why.
So my second question, I know you're your counselor, like if you do a mini review of this with my husband. Okay, okay.
The reason part of that is you going back home and saying, honey, I heard this guy, he was doing this, and then you're gonna be like, what? And you're like, you think it's funny. That's why when it comes down to couples, I always go through this with couples. So absolutely.
Do we connect you with you through social media, or how do we connect with you? I know you said Clifford.
Yeah, so we can do, I can give you, we're gonna have to plan an event. Just for you, bro. So first off, well, first off, we didn't start at 6:30. No, we started, I was planning on starting at 6:30. Right. And we didn't start until like 7 or 6, like, it was like 7. It was like 7:10. Yeah, so that's why I'm like, But you're right, though, because I was sitting there. I think what killed it a little bit, because I was planning on talking about a little bit more, the engagement during it. But it's fine, like I'm not trying to have that. But yeah, if like it capture this and a little bit of branding, marketing, advertising, it's going to take at least an hour and a half. Right. So just do an event just on that.
I told you to get it compact anyway. We already knew that.
Well, that's why I told you there's no way that people are going to have a defined seed by the time we're done. Right. So, but yeah, no, it was good.
It wouldn't work.
No. But I'm not kidding. So the guy that trained me to do this, we do 2-day seminars and we're talking 8-9 hours a day. So
I would like to go to one of those seminars.
that was great, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. So you're gonna have to fly to Texas. We actually have one this weekend, but we're full capacity. We're having another one on March. But if we have enough interest, I know we've been working on it, we can have one here. But we have to get at least 100 people to show up. So
that means you got to invite 200.
Well, we need to invite 300.
I didn't want to say that.
Yeah, we need to invite 300. Because I actually had one here about 1.5 years ago, and I had about 75 say yes, and we had like how many Clippers show up? 12 or 16, yeah.
I'm like, and who do you mean? It was, but it's all right. I still talk to people from that class.
Never free.
Nicole,
Yeah.
Never free, with money up ahead of time, you get it back when you get there.
Oh, trust me, we've already, yep, yeah, I got that covered.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because people will make them, I grew up being in Fort Myers, I'm not from here. Where I mean, I grew up in New York, and for us, it was like if your word is all you have. Down here, not the same ethic.
No, it is not.
It's more of an entitlement.
And again,
It doesn't matter, black or white.
no, it doesn't, it really doesn't. And that's why, like, I do this, and I do it without complaining about, I did it for free, because the people that are serious about it, the 1%ers, which, by the way, there's a reason why there's 1%, it has nothing to do about your background. That's everything to do about it. There's a lot of people that have a lot of free chicken that won't do anything.
Say that again.
There's a lot of free chicken on the internet. Maybe one. And actually, maybe one. And that's the reason why people that hear me talk, I'll talk to 2 years later. In the same position. But when you get that one person that does it, then next time I talk to them, they're like, yo, I started out here, I ended up here. And that's why I said, we already have it. We just gotta get that.
Well, we have to do a paradigm shift.
That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. Absolutely.
Clean it up.
I know my husband and I need, because I think we will.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I was gonna say, no. So what I could do is, there to see you.
We want to keep families together. You go ahead, you go ahead, I can see.
Oh, yeah. My own home. I got my cord,
okay, I saw those out on the wall.
Get more pictures.